Hello YouTube, it's Sparkman here. Today I'll be doing a video on my Lightsworn deck. So this deck is something I'm going to take to my local tournament. Everything in this deck is player preference, so I'm sure other people run the deck differently, but this is how I like to run the deck. It works really great for me. I've tried it a couple times on Yugioh Pro. I've even uploaded some duels for you guys to see of me playing this deck. I really enjoy it, so let's get right to it. So we're just going to start off with the monsters first, of course. We run 3 Judgment Dragons. This deck is pretty much run by this card, in my opinion. It's just such a powerful card. If it gets on the field, you know, it could wipe the whole entire field by sacrificing 1,000 life points. And you attack for 3,000, and you know that's a lot of damage, right? Because there's only 8,000 life points per player. So, you know, 3,000. If you have 2 of these in your hands and you have 4 different Lightsworns in your graveyard, you can special as many as you want out in the field. So, I mean, you could OTK if you have 3 of them in your hand, pretty much. Really great card to have in the deck, and of course that runs so well with Lightsworns. Then you run 3 Luminas. So basically, what I do is I'll play Lumina, I'll discard 1 Lightsworn, and then I'll either bring that card back or bring another card that's a Lightsworn in my graveyard, and either go into an XC summon, a Synchro summon if it's Raiden, or Minerva, or go into a Link summon. Card works so well, and it sets up so many plays for the deck. Then we run, of course, 3 Raiden. So for you that don't know as well, this deck consists of milling cards from the deck. So basically, this card effect, just like in Lumina, if you had it on the field for the whole turn, you mill 3 cards. But pretty much you mill 2 cards. The start of when you play this card, you can mill 2 cards. This card can gain 200 attack points, and you know, by doing that, if you send maybe a wolf or a Felis, you can special summon it out on the field, and then again sets up more plays. This is a tuner Lightsworn monster, so again, so many plays are set up by some of these cards, and it's a very underrated deck in my opinion. We run 3 Wolf. So like I said, when this card is milled from the deck, you pretty much can special summon out from the field. Now this card cannot just be normal summoned out, so I know it's a level 4 monster, but you can't just normal summon this monster. It has to be used by its effect, unfortunately. Or with Lumina, of course, bringing it back on the field. Same with Felis. It has to be milled from the deck using a monster effect. So it's actually, some of these cards are really, well suited for the deck though. Like you'll see a lot of times, you might draw this in your first hand, Felis and Wolf, but you'll probably have like a solo recharge to help you out as well. So I wouldn't mind drawing this either, because it always helps out at the end. I run 1 Minerva, so that's a tuner. I run 1 Lila, so pretty much takes out a spell trap card on the field. I run this Raikou just because, you banish 1 Lightsworn and then you can banish 1 card in the field, so it really does help a lot with setting up your plays and getting rid of maybe a big boss monster your opponent has on his side of the field. I run 1 Garoth and the Lila Lightsworn Enchantress. So all these cards work really well with the deck and sets up a lot of plays, as I said before. Now this one is very player preference. I really enjoy this 3 Honest. Now a lot of people will say, oh my goodness, why are you playing 3 Honest in the deck? It's not going to work well. Well, for me it does, and I'll tell you why. There's a lot of light monsters in this Lightsworn deck. That's why it's called Lightsworn. A lot of times when there's a big boss monster on your opponent's side of the field, and you really don't have anything to set yourself up, and you can just play just 1 card, this helps you out and goes a long way as well in setting up those plays. Then we run 2 Mathematicians. The Mathematician comes in very handy just because if you're using its effect, you pretty much send the wolf to the graveyard and special summon back out. Again, setting up more plays for your Link summon, or probably just your Link summon because that's level 4, so you're not going into a XC summon. And then I run 2 Performage Damage Jungler, 1 Performage Hat Trick Clown, and 1 Performage Hat Trick are very underrated cards in the deck as well. Helps out with a lot of the special summonings and going into XCs as well as Link summoning. I then run 1 White Dragon Wyvern Buster and 1 Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. Basically, what these cards do is, if there is a dark monster in the graveyard, I could banish it, special summon this one out, the White Dragon Wyvern Buster. And if there is a light monster in the graveyard, I could banish one of those light monsters and special summon this out. So works really well, and again, setting up a lot of plays for our side extra deck. I mean, and then for our spells now, we are running 3 of Charge of the Light Brigade. Again, very great card here for the Lightsworn deck. Usually what I'm doing is I'm bringing out, what's her name? I'm bringing out Lumina. So she usually sets up the plays after I use this card for her. And then I'll use a Solar Recharge. So like I said before, you know, if you draw Wolf or Fellas in your hand and you're kind of stuck, this really does help you out because you can discard it, draw 2 cards, mill 2 cards, and most of the time when you're milling, you're probably milling another Wolf or a Fellas as well. Then I run 1 Lightsworn Sanctuary, 1 Foolish Burial, works well with Wolf again, and then Pot of Avarice. Now, Pot of Avarice is because we're going to be milling a lot of cards, and your opponent is not afraid to allow you to deck out, so just be careful, watch, you know, your deck, make sure you're not running out of cards. Definitely use your Pot of Avarice, is going to help out a lot. Monster Reborn, Reinforcement of the Army, and Reasoning to finish out the spell cards. Now into the extra deck we go. Now you could run 2 of Minerva, but I only run 1 as of right now. I think just 1 is good enough for me, at least. And yeah, she's very useful though, I will say that. At first I didn't find her very useful, but over time I've found her to be so helpful in setting up a lot of the plays as well for this deck. I also run 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 number 41, and that's finishing out RXC monsters in the extra deck. I then run 2 Michael the Ark Lightsworn, as well as a Brionic. This is a throwback card for me. I love this card, and I actually know what it does. So when I first started making the deck, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what some of these cards do, but I definitely knew what Brionic did, so that definitely helped me out a lot. Borreload Savage Dragon, probably one of my favorite cards now. It's just so powerful. I have never seen a more powerful card, in my opinion. I know there's probably others out there, and you guys will probably leave in the comment section below that there's definitely others out there, but oh my goodness, like I'm in shock of how good this card is when I'm using it. So I just love using it. I have no other words, but I just love it. And it does help out a lot. I mean, I'll read the effect to you guys. If this card is single summoned, you equip 1 Link monster in your graveyard to this card. And if you do, place barrel counters on the equal on this card equal to the Link monster's Link rating. This card gains the attack equal to half the attack of the monster equipped by its effect. When your opponent activates a card effect, you can remove 1 Borreload counter from this card and negate the activation. You can only use the effect of Borreload Savage Dragon once per turn. I mean, it's so busted in my opinion. There's so much to this card, and it's just wow. Like, I have no other words but wow. Borreload Sword Dragon, for our Link monsters we're running. Oh my goodness, stay straight for me. Sarju, Skull Dread, the Nightmare Cerberus, the Nightmare Phoenix, and the Nightmare Unicorn. So definitely staples in the deck. Hip Hashanongen, IP Masquerena, and the Curious Lightsworn Dominion. So that wraps up the Link monster and the deck profile. Guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. Now, I didn't want to rush the deck profile, but I also don't want to make it too long because I've seen so many deck profiles just run on and run on and run on. And I just didn't want to let this one run on. I just want you guys to see the deck itself and, you know, just give me your opinions on it. You know, let me know what you guys believe is the best cards to run in this deck. Again, I'm still new to the game. I want to learn. I want to become better. So, again, any help is appreciated because, you know, it will help me in the long run in winning tournaments, hopefully. And, yeah, there'll be more decks for sure. This is not going to be the only deck I play in tournaments, but the deck I'm going with for now, just because I enjoy it, I understand it, and, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. From yours truly, Sparkman. Peace out.